Chapter 5, To Kill a Mockingbird. Let's understand the summary of Chapter 5. Scout, Jem, and Dill reenact scenes of Arthur Boo Radley in their games. Scout had been nagging Jem about it and eventually, they slowed down the game. However, Jem still believed they could play if Atticus hadn't explicitly forbidden it, and if they changed the names of the characters. Dill agreed with Jem's plan and had been difficult to deal with lately. He had even asked Scout to marry him, but then ignored her. Scout spends most of her time sitting with Miss Maudie Atkinson on her front porch. The children had an unspoken agreement that they could play on Miss Maudie's lawn, pick and eat her scuppernongs, and explore her back lot as long as they didn't jump on the arbor or destroy the azaleas, a deciduous flowering shrub. Miss Maudie is introduced as a widow who hates spending time indoors, believing that it is a waste of time. She instead spends most of her time outside in her flower beds in an old straw hat and men's coveralls. She is described as a chameleon lady, meaning she can adapt to different situations and change her opinions or behavior accordingly. Despite her love for everything that grows in God's earth, she despises nut grass and goes to great lengths to eliminate it from her yard. She uses a poisonous substance to remove it. This shows how passionate and dedicated Miss Maudie is to her garden and the lengths she is willing to go to keep it healthy and beautiful. Her passion for gardening is juxtaposed with her regal appearance when she appears on her porch after her 5 o'clock bath, thus suggesting that she is a person who values both hard work and presentation. Miss Maudie's speech is clear and concise, compared to the typical Macomb County resident. Scout also mentions that Miss Maudie has 2 gold prongs, spikes, clipped to her eye teeth, which she reveals when she smiles. Her friendship with Scout is cemented by her warm gesture of showing her bridge work by thrusting it out with a click of her tongue. Miss Maudie is also a talented baker, and her benevolence extends to Jem, Scout, and Dill, and she shares 3 little cakes with them. The passage also emphasizes the peaceful and serene nature of the neighborhood, where Miss Maudie and Scout enjoy sitting on the porch and watching the sunset and fights of martins disappearing behind the schoolhouse rooftops. Scout is talking to Miss Maudie about Boo Radley, asking if she thinks he is still alive, to which Miss Maudie affirms that he is, rocking slowly in her big oak chair. Scout wonders why he never comes out of his house. Miss Maudie explains that Boo's father was a foot-washing Baptist, and she briefly describes the religious beliefs of that group. She also mentions that some members of the foot-washing Baptists once told her that she and her flowers were going to hell because she spent too much time outdoors. Scout expresses her confusion and concern over the idea that Miss Maudie might be condemned by God to suffer for enjoying nature, but Miss Maudie brushes it off and jokes about it. Scout tells Miss Maudie that she is the best lady she knows, and Miss Maudie thanks her. Miss Maudie tells Scout that Boo was always polite to her as a child, and she believes he is not crazy, but he should be after the way people have treated him. Scout defends her father's honor when Miss Maudie comments that some men who are too focused on the next world forget to live in this one. Dill and Jem plan to leave a note for Boo to lure him out of his house. They plan to deliver the note to Boo Radley and include Scout in the plan. They use a fishing pole to reach a windowsill, but are unsuccessful. They then hear the dinner bell call to head home. Dill rings the bell to warn Jem about Atticus approaching till it kept ringing in the face of Atticus. Scout's father tries to find out what is going on. Jem admits to trying to give Mr. Radley a letter, which Atticus takes and reads. Atticus sternly tells the children to stop tormenting Mr. Radley, to communicate with him through the front door, and to stop making fun of people in the neighborhood. Jem is upset, but agrees to stop the nonsense.